Is an all-inclusive luxury cruise on your travel to-do list for this year or next? Today, we're taking a look at one of the premier luxury cruise lines, Regent Seven Seas and the SS Grandeur. Welcome to RTE-Travel Talk, Ask a Real Travel Expert, the show that talks to travel professionals around the world. Joining me today to review this excellent cruise line is Barb Chamberlain of Direct Travel. If you enjoy the journey with us today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if this video's got you inspired, give it a thumbs up or drop a comment and join the conversation. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for being part of our travel community, whether you're a longtime fan or just dropping by. We really appreciate it. And now, on with the show. Hi, Barb. Welcome back to RTE Travel Talk.
Thanks, Ken. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Great to have you with us, Barb. And I'm really looking forward to this because I saw those pictures of you online and on Facebook, and you appeared to be having a great time on this particular cruise with Regent Seven Seas. So let's spend a little time today talking about it. How's that sound?
It sounds great.
Perfect. So you sailed on the SS Grandeur, one of Regent's newest ships. What were your first impressions stepping aboard?
Wow. That's all I can say.
That's high praise.
I did. I have, as you know, I've been on almost many ships.
Yep.
I walked on that ship and it was, oh my gosh, like so elegant, so beautiful. It was fabulous. And it never felt crowded. The ship was almost full.
Right.
And it never felt crowded. Lots of public areas. Lots of restaurants to choose from that are all included. Like with Regent, as you know, everything's included. It was just a lovely experience. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I knew I would like it.
Right.
I didn't know I would be blown away, and I was blown away.
What's the passenger complement of the Grandeur?
It's around 800.
Is it an all-suite ship?
It is all-suite ship. Yeah. I say that 6 times after. Yes. It's an all-suite ship, yes.
They're known for their all-inclusive offerings. What in particular stood out for you?
I guess it's just that you don't have to worry about having a bill at the end of the cruise, or,
Right.
That you're not going to have some unknown things. I mean, yes, the spa treatments are not included and that, but like everything else is, even your shore excursions are included. And that also was very interesting. They sent me a list of all the shore excursions and I could choose from them. And it was a very large selection. And there are some shore excursions that if you want to do an upcharge because it's more intense, it's longer, whatever, you can do that if you want. You don't have to. There's lots to choose from that are included in your price. They have it organized for their shore excursions so well. So you're not in a long lineup getting on, off the ship or into a tender or anything like that. And their tender days, it was amazing because they've got this system that goes like right into the tender, so you don't have to walk down like open stairs and things like that. Now that's on the Grandeur. I don't know about on some of their smaller ships.
That can make a big difference for these smaller ships that can get into smaller places, to have that kind of built in, because you and I both know sometimes clambering down some of these stairs to get to the point where you can get on board a tender, that can be a little dicey sometimes for folks.
You're talking to a person who's afraid of heights, so yes. So yes.
Now, how did you find the suites on board? How was your room?
It was lovely. And as you know, I was a host for Virtuoso on this cruise. So I don't get to pick my room,
Right.
so, per se, but you know what? It was a lovely room. We were at the very back of the ship. And I don't know, they must have ESP because I love being at the back of the ship. It was very nice. And it's very well appointed.
Right.
It truly is. Yep.
Do you recall what size the room was roughly?
It was one of the smaller rooms. The balcony was a nice size. It was very deep because we're on the back of the ship. But yeah, no, and the bathrooms are well appointed. It was, and the bedding was fabulous. That's always important to me.
Well, exactly. You're gonna be in it for 10 or 12 days, so
yeah, exactly. But it's
one
important.
sleep counts, and when you hit the sack at the end of the day, you're kind of wore out from all the coming and going. So it's nice to get a good night's rest.
Well, it is. It's important, and they have a lovely bedding. So Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So how was the atmosphere, Barb? Was it like was such a beautiful ship and stuff? Did you find was it really formal or kind of stuffy, anything like that?
Not at all. I found that people were very laid back and they are luxury. I mean, the
Right.
Grandeur is a luxury ship. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But as we said, just, there's no stuffiness or anything like that. I believe that anybody could go on the Grandeur and fully enjoy it. My husband did wear a sports jacket when we went to the specialty restaurants, but if you don't want to do that, you didn't have to. The Veranda, which is their main restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, is casual. And at
Mhm.
nighttime, it turns into an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
And that's every night. And it has indoor and outdoor seating. So you can be casual there. Did I see people dressed up? Yes, I did. Was I dressed up? I would either have a nice pantsuit on or a nice dress on or slacks and a nice top. I didn't go all formal. And as I said, my husband wore a sports jacket. So he wore like a black sports jacket on what they didn't really have formal nights.
So basically smart casual evenings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk about the itinerary. The name of the itinerary was intriguing, Travel Through Time. I looked it over, Barb, and it was pretty amazing for where you went and everything that you packed into this short period. Tell us a little bit about that.
I picked it for the ports. Some of them I had been to before, but I had never been to Istanbul before, and the ship left from Istanbul. So we went in and stayed in the old town of Istanbul for 3 nights pre the cruise.
Okay.
I'm so glad I did. What a fabulous place. And the people are so nice, and they have hundreds of cats. And I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person, but
Yeah.
but they have hundreds of cats walking around. And oh my gosh, Ken, they look like they just came from the groomers, every single one of them. And they have these little machines that tourists and citizens of Istanbul can buy little bits of cat food and little bits of milk
Yeah.
for the cats. And it comes down and the cat comes over, or you give it to the cat and the cat eats it. And before you know it, somebody's whisking it all away.
And I'm sure these cats are well trained.
And we had the most amazing, and I do mean amazing, guide.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Istanbul, and it's also known for its marvelous history. So imagine if you had 3 nights there, you got to take in a lot of it, really.
We did. We did the Sultan's Museum, which is an absolute must. And I learned so much there. We toured the mosques, and they're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. And the palace and the spice market and the Grand Bazaar and you name it, we did it.
So definitely, if you're considering this itinerary, a pre-stay in Istanbul is a must.
It's a must.
Yeah. So where did we go from Istanbul?
We went into Greece, a little place in Greece, but I got to be honest with you, I didn't walk very far because I did hurt my knee.
Oh dear.
Walking Istanbul,
Yeah.
but we did look around. It was very charming. It's very lovely. It's your typical little Greece port, which I love. So I love it.
Mhm.
And then they went back into Turkey, into a couple of parts in Turkey, including Kusadasi. And I had been there before, and we did go out and we looked around. Kusadasi is very, very busy.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to buy a rug, just keep saying no. No. Or just say, in our case, we'd already done that. We had bought the rug
Yeah.
many years ago, and we still have the rug. So,
Yeah.
but anyhow, we just said we have one. We have
Yeah.
one. So, but they're a little forceful on the rugs.
So then Mykonos and Santorini as well on this cruise.
Oh yes, Mykonos. I've been there before, and I do love it. It is so serene, and we walked all the way across the island to the windmills and sat and had a lovely drink by the water. I swear you could eat your lunch off the pavement. It is so clean.
It's a wonderful place.
Oh,
And I would always recommend to folks that are visiting Mykonos, if you can get off the ship really, really early in the morning and you get into town before the crowds get there, it's amazing. The way the light hits it and down those alleys, it's just a wonderful experience.
it was lovely. It was. I really enjoyed my day. Yeah.
Now you're off to a port that I haven't been to yet, but I'm interested to hear about is Montenegro. How was that?
I have been there before and I love it. And we were in Kotor And so we did take a Regent excursion, and it was a
Mhm.
tuk-tuk. And
Okay.
I really like my tuk-tuks. Well, I like them because I'm not in a
Yeah.
bus and I get fresh air, and we went all down the coastline and we saw all the mussel farms and all the scenery. And
So, for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, Barb, what time of year were you there?
we were there in April.
Hmm. And is that a
So
good time?
I think it's a great time. Now, we did have maybe 2 days of a little bit of rain, but
Right.
like in Kotor, we had the rain, but it did not stop us. And by the time we finished, it was finished. But it's a great time because you don't have the heat and
Yeah.
you don't have the crowds.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of heat, what kind of daytime temperatures were we looking at?
Anywhere from about 22 to 25
That
Celsius.
that yeah,
Celsius. Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
good touring weather. So Venice was your final stop. Were you able to dock in Venice, or did you have to go to Ravenna? How did it work for the Grandeur?
No, Regent docked very close to Venice.
Mhm.
There's a couple of docks. One is Trezeguet and the other one is Fusina,
Right.
Fusina. And Regent docks there because they are smaller.
Right.
And it's only about a 15 to 20-minute drive to a water taxi to get over to Venice
Okay.
Island itself. And so we did that. And I had arranged a private transfer. We just had somebody pick us up and take us to our water taxi and our water taxi over to our hotel. Now,
Right.
I'm going to say something. They have built a brand new terminal at that port, and you think you can just get off and out you go? Mm-mm.
Oh, really?
It takes quite a while. They only had 2 customs officers working for the whole ship, and unless they change it down the road, which I hope they do, you've got to bank on being in line for a good 20 minutes to 25 minutes and to get out. So if you've got a private car waiting for you who's on the clock, you need to know that.
Yeah, that's good advice. So you did some private stuff on your own. How would you rate the Regent hosted shore excursions? How do you think they measured up? Or
I think the hosted region excursions were really, really good. I talked
yeah.
to a lot of people who took some even upgraded ones, and they said they were very, very well done.
Mhm.
And they are glad that they took the excursion. Yes.
Now, with the size of that ship, Barb, did they do any kind of enrichment activities on board, lectures, that sort of thing?
I didn't see a lot on that itinerary.
Hmm.
They had a few small lectures.
Right.
I got to be honest, I didn't go to them. I saw that the room was full. The entertainment on board was great.
Hmm.
It's not your Las Vegas entertainment, at all, but they did a really good job.
Right. So they'd have shows every evening, but just on the smaller scale.
Yes, and
Yeah.
they were at 9:30 at night.
So basically only one show for the entire ship.
Yes, yes.
Right. And 9:30 at night is actually a pretty good time.
It's not a bad time, like if you want to, if you don't want to eat too early and
Yeah.
and you want to enjoy, go to one of the specialty restaurants or even the main dining. The main dining room is absolutely stunning, and the food in there, the food on this ship is phenomenal.
Really?
And I'm not a foodie.
Yeah.
And but it was phenomenal. It truly, truly was.
Wow. Did they have many flavors of the region?
Almost every night they had a flavor of the region, and
Yeah.
then they had their specialties. So if you went to Prime 7,
Right.
you're more like into your steaks and seafood and that. A little trick: if you go into Prime 7 or you make your reservation at Prime 7, ask to sit at the back of the restaurant. And the
Okay.
reason being is you're at the back of the ship, and they've got these big, big windows so that you can just look out at the back of the ship. If you sit at the side of the restaurant, the sun is coming in and they put the blinds down.
Good tip.
That's my tip for today.
Now, speaking of tips, what do you recommend when it actually comes to shore excursions? Because Regent has so many options available and they include like probably 90% of them as part of your fare, I would tend to think that they probably get booked up fairly fast. When should folks be considering booking their excursions that once they've decided on their cruise with Regent Seven Seas?
Excursions come out 1 year ahead of time.
Hmm.
So I always say, and it kind of depends on the itinerary, like on
Yeah.
itinerary like I just did, or if you're going to Japan, or if you're
Yeah.
going to anywhere in Asia or the fjords or something like that, book your excursions ahead of time.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, with Regent, they're all included, so you don't have much to lose.
Yeah.
If you pay for an upgraded tour, you can cancel that tour if you
Yeah.
change your mind, as long as you do it a couple of days, before your cruise.
Yeah.
So I would say book your tours as soon as you can.
So let's talk about some practical tips for our viewers and listeners. For someone considering a similar luxury cruise, what's your best advice for getting the most out of the experience?
I would just tell people to, pick the itinerary they want. I mean, that's the most important thing. And then, you pick your ship.
So itinerary first, then ship.
Well, I think so, because it's places that you want to see, and it's
Yeah.
places that you want to do, and then you want to, choose the best ship
Yeah.
around that itinerary. Regent has 6 ships, including the Grandeur, and late in 2026, they're coming out with the Prestige.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of buzz about the Prestige.
Because everything's so included with Regent Seven Seas. Now, this may be hard for you to detail, but because everything's so included, all your shore excursions, your drinks, your tips, your gratuities, all of that's in. How does it measure up in price point to, like, for example, some of the other premium lines? And I'm not going to talk about the luxury ones, but some of the other premium lines. I think people kind of have the misconception that luxury travel is way out of my league. And I feel that it probably isn't once you line everything up. Am I correct?
You're correct. Yeah, I mean, there's other luxury lines out there, but they're not as of all inclusive as Regent. I mean, they do include like one shore excursion per port, and it depends on the cruise line. It's either take it or leave it, or you might have a choice.
Yeah.
Regent is the only one that has such a wide variety of excursions, and you're absolutely right. You can take another cruise line, and by the time you add your gratuities and you add your beverage packages and you add your shore excursions, and you have to look at the space ratio. I mean, it's up to you whether you want 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 of your best friends traveling with you,
Yeah.
or 800, 900 of your best friends traveling with you. So it's all a personal preference. But you're absolutely right. A lot of people look at a Regent or any other luxury line and sometimes get a sticker, go, oh my gosh, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
But if they break it down, they see that, you know what, it's a little bit more, but it's not as much as I thought it was.
Exactly. At the end of the day, these folks, for really through no fault of their own, they'll go off and they'll purchase the premium line and add. And then at the end of the cruise, they're not that far away from what they would have been on Regent.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with premium lines. Don't get me wrong.
No, of course
but
not.
It's educating the consumer because it's all inclusive.
Who would you say Regent Seven Seas is best suited for, Barb?
I think it's suited for almost everybody. There was not a lot of children. I got to be honest. I saw families on board. I saw younger people on board, like in their 30s, on board and having a great time. There was a lot of people from 30 and up.
So because Regent's fleet is smaller in terms of passenger complement, how far in advance would you recommend booking a cruise with Regent Seven Seas?
A lot of people ask me that. It depends, I think, on the itinerary. So if it's like Japan or Asia or Scandinavia, Norway area for the fjords, or even Iceland.
Right.
So the more popular itineraries, as soon as they come out, book them, because they fill up fast. And if you want the suite location that you want, that's the time you're going to get it.
So general rule of thumb in this day and age is as soon as the itineraries open up in a given year is when you're probably going to see your best pricing as a rule, and it will just go up from there. So based on that, Barb, when does itineraries normally open up? Is 2027 open on Regent right now, or when would they open 28?
All of 27 is not available. The first quarter is for sure. I'm not sure about the second quarter. It might be out right now, but we're finding that people are booking ahead of time.
Right.
A lot of people these days are planning, like 2-3 years out. We are going further out now than we have for a long time because the demand is there. I have got a third or a quarter of my 2027 bookings already booked.
Wow. Well, good advice.
Yeah.
So looking back on this wonderful cruise, what was your absolute favorite moment, Barb?
And you're going to think I'm soppy. You really are. In the veranda dining area, which serves the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they did something really, really smart.
Okay.
Instead of having, they have their normal tables, but all the way around, it's like a big, big horseshoe.
Right.
So there's two sides to it. All the way around the edges, they put like almost like an island table. That's the only way I can explain it. It's a
Right.
long, slender piece of glass table with two higher chairs, and you're sitting at it, and you're right at the window. You're right in front of the window looking out. And I loved sitting there in the morning with a cappuccino and watching what's happening in the port and just enjoying the view. I just love sitting at that table. And if I got there a little late and there wasn't that table waiting, I just waited for one of those tables. They
So
got to
this
know me.
isn't. So this is first thing in the morning at breakfast
I
or
mean,
anytime.
any meal that you eat there, even
Yeah.
at nighttime when
Yeah.
it's the Italian restaurant,
Yeah.
they have these tables.
Okay.
So I really did like that. I hadn't seen that on another cruise. She is a beautiful, beautiful ship. There's just, and we were there over Easter, and they did a big, all these huge chocolate Easter eggs and put them on display. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it was phenomenal. It really, really was.
Well, Barb, this has been a fantastic conversation. Any final advice for somebody considering their first cruise with Regent Seven Seas?
I would just say, look at the price, but talk to somebody that knows what they're doing,
Yeah.
and break it down. Let's
Yeah.
break it down and pick the itinerary that is for you, and pick the ship that you feel that you're going to be comfortable with. These luxury liners these days, they're not pretentious like they used to
Yep.
be, and it's very nice. It truly is.
So,
Yeah.
Barb, if folks wanted to reach out to you about a possible cruise with Regent Seven Seas, how can they contact you?
They can call me, Ken, at 519-670-4448, or they can email me at bchamberlain@dt.com. That's BChamberlain @DT, like David Tango.com.
Perfect. I'll leave that information in the show notes for those folks that like to reach out. And my goodness, Barb, after looking over this itinerary, we're going to have to see about getting on Regent Seven Seas herself. It looks like a fantastic time. It really
Well, I want to go back, that's for sure.
So speaking of that, as always, I like to live vicariously through the travels of all of the wonderful people I get to interview on this show. I have to know where are you off to next?
Very soon, Ken. My daughter and I are hosting a Seabourn Virtuoso cruise voyage to Alaska.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And then in October, I am hosting a Virtuoso Voyages cruise again on Seabourn in the Mediterranean.
Well, now speaking of Seabourn, I came across last night that Seabourn actually has a departure going out of Halifax. Have you seen that?
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that last night, actually. I know. And it's going to South America.
Yeah. After you're done with your Seabourn to Alaska, we'll have to have you back to talk about all things Seabourn. How does that sound?
It's great. Yeah.
Well, with that, Barb, I'm just going to wish you safe and happy travels on all your future cruises and destinations. May the wind always be at your back, and I hope to see you on the Lido deck of a luxury cruise ship sometime soon in the future.
And I would love that, Ken.
All right. Take care, Barb.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that about wraps it up for today, folks. A very special thanks to my guest, Barb Chamberlain of Direct Travel. If you'd like to reach out to Barb, I will leave her contact information in the show notes. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can simply send a question to questions@realtravelexperts.com. Visit our website, realtravelexperts.com, or simply leave a comment. We always respond. And as always, folks, if you enjoy this content, a like, subscribe, share, and a ring of the bell is certainly appreciated and helps other folks just like you to find our content. So until next time, happy travels.